That's today's sushi, and James and I are eating the end pieces first, and then there's blackberries for dessert, and I'm having the chocolate mint, and James is having some green stuff, and big, bold, beautiful journey got top of the stack against a night of 7 kingdoms. So when I say a sushi roll, that's what I'm talking about, the whole roll that I make. This is just sushi pieces, and they could be any size. Oh, I want to show you something. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So that's why I got these these pants, because I thought that was cool. So I think that's a little high. Let's see what I can do about this. So James, what do you have to say about a night and 7 kingdoms?
Not much. I think the hero looked big and goofy, but you know, not everyone is big as goofy. Like Will Chamberlain is really goofy.
Here we go. That should be better.
LeBron James is pretty goofy.
So this is my outfit for today. Elvis picked it out. Our dog
He did,
Elvis.
actually. He's very excited about it.
He was very excited about getting to pick out my outfit.
About getting to pick it out. Just getting to pick it out.
Yeah. So, I'm going to... There's nothing really to say about the sushi. It's another one of the sushi rolls where I use lupin flour with tahini to have a nice color, and with kimchi, so it has a nice golden color for the outside. And then today avocados were ripe, so I got to put avocados in there.
Good.
Yeah. So it's basically the same recipe I've been using, but with avocados now. So, yeah, it's just whatever. The rainbow sushi, it's whatever produce is on sale or ripe in the garden, whatever. That's what ends up in the rainbow sushi. So, I brought out the ice cube tray so that you can put ice in whatever beverage you want. So did you want ice in your beverage? Both of them? Okay. So this ice cube tray, it looks kind of cute because you can make actual cubes out of the ice cube from the tray.
I always used to bug me.
Yeah, they're
rounded up.
And I guess it bothered somebody enough that they made this silicone sort of ice cube tray. So 2 in each, or okay. But the thing is they didn't put, when they were making this, you know how ice cube trays have a lip up? Yeah, they didn't do that. It's just flat. So you really can't fill it up right full. Okay. Whatever. So I'll put that over there. Talk about this. So honestly, I didn't care for either of these that much. I will say that if you hang in there with a night of the 7 kingdoms, the complete first season, if you hang in there and get past the first while, I mean, it's typical sort of Game of Thrones crummy. At first it was like, oh wow, they're getting away with so much stuff that people hadn't gotten away with before, and it's, after a while it's like, oh well, whatever.
I'll give you an example. I'm the one eating, so it shows this big guy,
the big knight who they're following,
hiding behind a tree, trying to hide that he's pooping.
Yeah.
But of course they show his whole bum and all the poop coming out, diarrhea.
Yeah.
Real classy.
So there's a lot of. So they're just trying to gross you out in other ways now, and whatever. The story does get more interesting because you find out who Egg is later on.
Egg.
He's not as he appears to be, or not as he claimed to be. So that's interesting. But then, so it was interesting in the middle of the season, and then it kind of, again at the end. Whatever. But if you like the Game of Thrones stuff, you'll like A Night of the 7 Kingdoms.
Was there a lot of bloodshed then? Not like Game of
Yeah, well, you know, honestly, I don't think it was as gratuitous in this as Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, everyone was talking about it like 10 years ago or something like that. I watched it and I'm going, well, Dinah Rigg, I felt sorry for her. Should have been something
She's better
much
than that, yeah. So, Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Honestly, I don't like Margot Robbie as an actress, really. She's okay.
I don't even know who she is. Maybe I'm lucky.
Yeah. And I don't really find her that pretty, and I realize everybody does, so...
Is that true?
Yeah, I just don't.
Is she,
I like Colin Farrell.
He's not bad.
Okay. But honestly, this was a bit of a disappointment. It's it feels like it's like at the end of the show, at the end of the movie, they have a song. They have songs throughout the movie, but they have a song at the end of the movie. You're like, oh, so the writer of this movie was influenced by this song and just made a movie based on this song.
Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, is that a song?
No.
Sorry.
So it's about two strangers discover magical doors that let them relive their past and rewrite their future. So they get a car from they each get cars, but from a weird car rental agency. It seems kind of strange. You don't know what's going on with it. It doesn't seem like a car rental agency, but they get these cars, and the salesperson really encourages them to get the GPS. And they're like, well, like Colin Farrell saying, I don't need that repeatedly, right? He comes up with different, I can always phone or whatever if I lose my way, whatever. But anyway, he accepts and both of them had accepted the GPS. And there's something mystical about the GPS system in the car, because it leads them to these magical doors, right? And leads them to each other, and then they travel together and go through these magical doors. So anyway, it's about a couple people that they haven't had luck with relationships, and they're pretty honest and upfront about it. It's just, so they believe that it's just not for them. But in the end, the movies were not that, or TV and movie show, not that good. So today, the dinner is better than the movie selection. So now James is going to talk about his books. And I'm going to put this stuff away, so that it's out of the way.
So das Balladen book, if I'm mispronouncing Balladen, it's a German plural of ballad, I guess. I don't know where the accent comes. We in English say ballad. So often when Germans borrow a word, and it's not just from French, from another language, they will accent the last syllable. So ballad, maybe. Ballad. So they'd say the same. Sounded like a motorcycle there. I just wish they'd retire all motorcycles, put them out in the funny farm or something like that. Pretty useless, and that's at best. Is the little one flying?
What?
Is the little bird flying?
He can't be.
Well, he's getting pretty big.
I still hear him up there.
Yeah, but I thought I heard it. Maybe.
Is the parent trying to encourage him out?
Something.
Huh.
I'm hearing.
Interesting.
Twittering coming from different directions now. We were noticing it was basically as big as the parent or parents. And that was yesterday. Maybe even the day before. I don't know what's happening. It's different kind of sound. See?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, folks.
All right. They're chittering back and forth. Well, I don't know, but I think I haven't seen the mother in a long time. I've been looking.
Okay.
I don't think she's around anymore.
Could be. Maybe she just decided. I don't know.
No.
A little hard to take. So leave it up.
I
to
don't
Bobby
think
here.
mother birds abandon their babies.
I'd be very disappointed. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a lot for a mother out in the wild to abandon a baby. Maybe give up on one out of a big litter or something like that. One that's weaker.
Well, sometimes they have to.
Well, they got to take care.
Like, what is it, loons, that they always let one die or whatever? Weaker one?
Is that true?
I can't remember. Yeah, it's just
We've
sad.
seen it happen with the dogs. And Paris was a good mother. She'd kind of give up. You never gave up on her. It's very impressive. She ended up being big, and it looked like a healthy dog, but she had her troubles.
Yeah, I want to
She
start a loon orphanage or something.
Yeah.
Taking all the runs.
I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I haven't got all the way through this, so this is a preview. There's roughly 400 pages of actual material, and I'm a little more than a quarter of the way through. A bit of an achievement. I'm proud of what I've done so far.
So it's actual
Balance
in that language.
in German.
Okay.
It sounds much like ballads in English, right? Because German accents, although they say you have to take into account length of syllable in German. I don't know. I'd like to do a study of it. I'm a little skeptical, but the accents are similar to English. German
That's
tends.
the girl right here.
Yeah, well, I figured she was around. No, she's not caught there, right?
Oh, it's one of the babies. I thought we just had baby boys. See? Well, that's a little baby girl, I think.
So I think she's learning how to
fly. I think we're going to have to watch, like, sit guard today. So that we can try to...
Safe from cats there.
Yeah. Come here, darling. There we go.
Okay, is she on the ground?
No, she flew.
That's good. Yeah, she could have been in real trouble there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Good.
The fledglings are... I'd always have to worry about them. I used to have finches. I used to keep finches. And if the fledglings, if they get out of the cage, boy, you gotta look all over the house for them right away. And you have to find them.
They could get stuck and then die.
They'll get behind something. They won't tell you. So it could be behind a book, and they'll just stay there. They won't try to get out.
Yeah.
They'll just stay there. Yeah.
Anyway, that one was in trouble. It really was. It didn't know which way to go.
No, she was a bit confused there.
Yeah.
But I think she managed to get onto a branch there.
There we go.
So
It'd be a lot safer
hopefully
there.
she's okay. But I mean, there's so many cats.
No.
We'll just spend the day outside and
these
try to keep watch.
woodpeckers, you don't see them scrambling around on the ground. They're not like another woodpecker-related thing. The flickers, the northern flickers, they go after ants. Say about 45% of their food is ant base and stuff like that. Anyway, it's got stuff that's kind of like in ballad meter. Some of the stuff, right? You know how it is. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ja, das war so rausch, das war so schwoll. Ein Fisch ist das der Raum. Danach dem Angerührball, bis ans Herz. You can actually hear it, right? Yeah. Now, as it stands, they've put two stanzas together to come up with a larger stanza.
Okay.
Und wie sitzt und wie lauscht, tat sich der Flug im Ohr. aus dem bewegten Wasser rauscht ein feuchtes Weib hervor. So Weib is like cognate with English wife, but it means woman, or it also can mean a female animal or something like that. Weib. Feuchtes is like wet or something like that. So it's the fisher. You can see how that's related to our fisher. It's just spelled differently.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be looking?
At this, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I just showed you a little bit there. I wasn't thinking about anything. Anyway, we'll go back to something I started a couple of days back, looking at this guy's view of. So this is David E. Shine. View of Jim Garrison.
Well, that was really nice to see.
I figured that they were making their...
Like, we were wondering, is there only one chick? And all I was seeing was the little male all the time eating from
Popping
his
head
father,
out.
right?
Yeah.
But that was obviously a little chick, a little female.
Yeah, and it's made it out. It sounds a little male's a little bit scared of coming out, or whatever. Yeah, he should be well fed, because it sounds as though he was first at the trough, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, all the time he was. It was his head out the whole.
But I'd be scared. I'd be scared to make an entrance to the world. It's just got to make sure his wings are ready to go, because you don't want to.
She's made it far now. You can hear she's a lot further away.
I've seen ones. I saw one. I rescued it from a jay. It was on the ground.
A downy?
No, a bird. I think it was a little flicker.
Yeah.
But it had wings, but it looked as though it didn't know how to use them. And the jay was stalking it. I yelled at the jay. And he didn't want to give it up, but he gave me a hateful look and he took off.
Well, this little girl knows how to use them.
I know. Then I saw the little bird. Well, it didn't want to come out. It was so scared. It was like behind the fence and stuff like that. Finally, when it came out, it had figured out how to fly.
Oh, good.
It's bizarre. Yeah? Anyway, reading this, what Shime has to say about Jim Garrison. So, a plot to plant evidence in Clay Shaw's home. I don't know if Jim Garrison was involved. There were a lot of CIA guys who turned up to help Jim Garrison out. And of course, they're playing dirty tricks, and it could have been easily a dirty trick devised by one of these scumbag CIA agents. Now, understand, the CIA people were all involved. This guy mentions nothing. He says, Clay Shaw, who was actually brought to court by this district attorney that we're talking about, Jim Garrison. And, all the newspapers that were covering up JFK's assassination, they were all like, Clay Shaw, totally innocent. Turns out that in the 70s, before this book was put out, Dick Helms, who was, I think, deputy director of plans, and the plans side of the CIA is the bad side. It was the bad side then. And it's the one that had people involved in JFK's assassination. I don't think it's very many. But Dick Helms, when he was head of the CIA, or after he'd been head of the CIA, he just admitted twice that Clay Shaw had worked for the CIA. He didn't specify in what capacity. I'd be shocked if it hadn't been an actual regular employee and not just a contract agent. But be that as it may, this guy mentions nothing about that. Jim Garrison got it right. Clay Shaw was a CIA agent. There was at least one witness who'd seen Clay Shaw and overheard him talking with Lee Harvey Oswald, and I think it was David Ferry, about whacking JFK. And from the description of the conversation, he was in on it. And this guy doesn't deal with that at all. Shine doesn't deal with that sort of stuff. You got to deal with that. So Garrison and his aides. So you don't know what his aides were doing. Like some of his aides were horrible people. They were CIA people, and they might have been. Some of them would have been making Garrison look bad, and some of them might have actually been resorting to threats of death. But Garrison and his aides also resorted to threats of imprisonment. You know, like this is what happened to George Floyd when he was involved. He was the getaway guy driving the getaway car, but apparently he's the one holding the gun too, according to at least one witness, at this holdup of a pregnant woman. And they were threatening him with imprisonment, extra imprisonment, 29 years apparently. And he didn't roll for the law. That's what he should have done. You know, like when you're defending your co-defendants or your cronies, the people who've been involved in the crime, you're bad. It's your duty to actually turn them in. And they were offering him a shorter sentence. As it turns out, they gave him too short of a sentence. They gave him only 5 years. I don't know if he served all of it. And he was a thug in prison. He was they were saying, oh, he kind of like it looks like a gangster in the prison. George Floyd just flocked to his protection. No, George Floyd was working at least part-time as a bouncer at a club at the time of his death, or around the time of his death. He was a perennial bouncer. That's what he was doing when he was driving the car. This thing does have some valuable stuff in it. You know, they'll mention a former boxer served as a chauffeur for a mafia leader. But what else did he serve as?
Hitman?
A bodyguard.
Oh.
Chauffeur bodyguard. That's what George Floyd was doing when he was driving around a pusher from place to place.
Oh, of course. Yeah, because
the
he was
pusher
a big guy.
6'4", 250 pounds or 45 pounds or something like that. Looks as though he was an avid user of steroids even at his age, maybe mid-40s or stuff like that. So that's what he was doing. And so when they say, oh, you know, it's very lucky, he was a gentle giant, because, you know, like no one, he never ran into trouble in prison because he was too big. And I'm going, he never ran into trouble because people were too scared of it. But he was there, actually. He didn't fall under the protection of this mafia gangster type of guy. He was there to protect mafia gangster type of guy. And of course, this biography I was reading of George Floyd was all attempting to be exculpatory. For 15 minutes.
You have 5.
5 there. I was way off on that. But so, although Garrison made extravagant charges against an assortment of Cuban exiles, CIA agents, Minutemen, White Russians, and Nazis. So I don't know about the White Russians. The White Russians involved with Lee Harvey Oswald were definitely, you'd have to be a total driveling fool to not realize that they were CIA agents. I don't think they were involved. So that's George Morenshilt and his wife. I don't think they were involved with the assassination. Minutemen, so I am pretty sure that there were some right-wing extremists involved in at least the planning of the assassination. CIA agents. E. Howard Hunt was a CIA agent. He was head, apparently, at one point in time, of the CIA detail at the Mexico City Embassy. Okay, and there is one witness. It looks as though it was reliable as can get. She was actually at one. You know, she wasn't just some fly-by-night. She'd actually been Fidel Castro's girlfriend. She was kind of like history. She made history, as it were. And she recounted, and this is under oath, folks, under oath, in a different trial where a person was defending someone who'd been slandered by E. Howard Hunt. She said that she traveled with E. Howard Hunt. There was two other people from someplace in Florida, either Tampa or Miami, probably Miami, and ended up in Dallas a day or two before the assassination of JFK. And in the trunk was all sorts of guns and ammo. CIA agents. Yes, CIA agents. So an assortment of Cuban exiles. Well, I believe the other two people that were in the car with E. Howard Hunt and this poor unfortunate woman were Cuban exiles. And Nazis. Well, I don't know about Nazis. Did he actually accuse some Nazis? He conspicuously avoided any reference to one prime assassination suspect, the Mafia. And I think he did that more than anything else to just protect his life. You go after the Mafia and you're district attorney, your life expectancy is very short from that point of time on, okay? For example, in discussing testimony concerning Ruby's anti-Castro activities, which he quoted at length, Garrison described Ruby as a CIA bagman and an employee of the CIA. You'd have to be a total driveling fool to not realize, when you look at the evidence, that Jack Ruby had actually been a contract employee running guns into Cuba for the CIA or some other intelligence agency of the United States. So he was an employee of the CIA, a CIA bagman, I don't know. But Garrison said nothing about Ruby's organized crime involvement, and that would have been designed by Garrison to save his life and the life of his investigators, because he was working out in New Orleans, perhaps the most ruthless killer, short of maybe Santos Trafficante, of all the mafia leaders in the United States, some 24 of them. The cited testimony, in contrast, contains not one allusion to the CIA, yet it is replete with references to the Mafia and the syndicate in connection with both Ruby's Cuban activities and his nightclub operations. So Ruby was working with the Mafia when it comes to his Cuban activities, but the Mafia was working ostensibly for the CIA at that point in time. So, amazingly, Garrison also refrained from mentioning the close and portentous ties of his key suspect, David Ferry, to Mafia boss Carlos Marcello. So why would he not mention that? He at least got David Ferry out there from under a rock into the glare of something like the light of publicity. But such ties were little concern to Garrison. Oh, I'm sure they were of a very great concern to Garrison. He knew the Mafia and knew that he'd be dead meat if he went after Carlos Marcello, a stone-cold killer, who declared on national television that Marcello was a respectable businessman. What's he going to say? That he's Mafia? Oh, come and get me, Carlos. And who stated that there was no organized crime in New Orleans. So what's he going to say? There is organized crime. I'm not going after it because I fear for my life. Okay? According to Garrison, people worry about the crime syndicate. The real danger is the political establishment, power massing against the individual. Skeptical of Garrison's professed ignorance about organized crime, a team of Life magazine reporters once asked him about Frank Timpany, a notorious syndicate figure in Garrison's own district. Garrison claimed never to have heard of him, and carrying the act further, placed a call to an aide in the reporter's presence. The Garrison aide promptly assured his boss that Timpany was one of the biggest bookies in New Orleans. So, mob-tied at the very least. It became apparent, however, that the district attorney's knowledge of organized